All right. Got Malinda Starr here with me today. Hello, Malinda. How are you doing today?
Hello, and happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. A very beautiful and blessed Mother's Day. Because here in the
Yes.
States, it's Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right. It's Mother's Day in the United States today.
So, yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Oh, happy Mother's Day, Malinda Starr. Yeah, we celebrated yesterday and wow, it was such a beautiful day. Spent it with my mother-in-law, and she's amazing. Such a good grandma and just the world's best mother-in-law. I'm so blessed. I'm very, very grateful every day. And I brought her chocolate and flowers, and she was so happy. She's got a big, huge garden full of flowers. I'm like, I know you've got so many flowers. She's no, like, actually, the frost has come and destroyed all my flowers. I'm so happy to have flowers. And I said, and you don't have chocolate in your garden. She goes, oh, I always want chocolate. So she was so happy. She was so happy that she gave me this beautiful tablecloth. It looks like a William Morris tablecloth. And I put it on my table this morning and it matches everything. It was like meant to be. It's just so beautiful. So I feel very happy about Mother's Day. It just was so nice.
Well, I got two roses today from my rose bush, and I was so happy to see them bloomed. I'm like, oh, good. I have some flowers today.
Oh, beautiful. You've got roses growing in the desert. Amazing.
That is amazing.
It's incredible. Good job. Must be all
And
your good healing energy.
it amazes me all the time. I'm like, how is this? The roses are growing here. So
Wow. It must be all your magic.
it's a nice blessing when I come out and I start counting them and I really baby them. But they do well.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. I've got these flowers that just keep giving. Like I put them in some flower boxes, and after 2 months, they're still blooming. They don't stop blooming. I'm like, it's amazing. It's incredible. I'm like, they're the flowers that just keep giving and keep giving and keep giving. And it's winter here and they're still beautiful and like, hello. It
It's
makes me
all love, right?
it's all the love, all the good energy.
All love we put out.
Yeah, I do feel that for sure. They actually did a study about plants that people spoke to them kindly and gave them lots of love. And both set of plants that they did the study on had the same amount of water, the same amount of light, like all of everything that they needed. But one test subject got lots of love and good energy and positivity, and the other one got like they played like heavy metal music and like said you're ugly and horrible things to the plants. And the ones that got all the love and the good energy and the good music, that was positive, they flourished and grew, and the other ones didn't. They're like, oh. So it's a real thing, and we're the
It's
same. We're the
or the
same.
same. Everything is the same, right?
Yeah.
We all need love. We all want love.
Yeah. So today we thought we'd come on and talk about the awakening and, what the awakening means to us and some tips to navigate through the awakening journey. So I'm passing the torch over to you, Malinda Starr. You can begin. What does awakening mean to you? And do you have a few tips to offer up for people on navigating through the awakening journey?
Well, it definitely is a journey. And each time you think you got to one point and then there's another one. But for me, it means freedom. Freedom from the internal suffering to clarity of mind, inner peace and this overall joy and filling your life with happiness and abundance. And having that unconditional love of operating from your heart, being completely in the moment, and letting go of the ego, surrendering to the flow of life. As you're going from the unconscious to the conscious. Um, so that's what it means for me.
Beautiful. And are there any tips that you can share to help people navigate through that?
I think that the first thing is really to work on your triggers, healing those wounds, our traumas, um, letting go of that false self, all of these beliefs that have been handed to you, given to you through your parents and teachers, and that don't belong to you. We may have come in with these beliefs from other lives. And once you start recognizing them and understanding that they're not a part of you. And so by doing that, the healing really starts to clear that out so you can start to become a clear channel and really bringing that into your heart, operating from your heart of unconditional love and being one with everything. And the more you keep doing that, and the more you live in that, being love, acting in love, it all starts flowing out of you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And, I agree with you 100 and something percent, like as you speak, and I love your voice. I just love everything about you, Malinda Starr. That's obvious. So good to see you. Oh, you're so gorgeous. Love your energy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see you in June. Um, so I agree with you, but I have to say that, and I'm sure people can identify this, when coming face to face with either that trigger or that wound or that trauma or whatever like comes up, it's so hard to remember. And it happened to me last night. Okay. Mother's Day. Wonderful day. Had such a good time at my mother-in-law's and father-in-law's. Like, so beautiful. We come home. My teenager is going to make a fire. And then he starts crying and he had hurt his toe. And he had pulled, and I'm sharing this story with all of you because it's an applicable story. I teach through stories, and this will give you all a bit of a laugh. And you'll probably understand and identify with it too, some of you. Maybe not all of you. Maybe some of you are way more enlightened than me. But anyway, so the toenail had ripped like almost all the way out and it's bleeding and it's like, OMG, oh my goodness. And he's crying and I'm like, oh. So we, you know, bring him into the bathroom and then I'm like, I kind of went into I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know whether to cut the toenail down because it was really long and or not. And so I kind of went into one of those freeze modes of like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to do it wrong. Like, he's in a lot of pain. But the toenail was too long, and that's why it happened. And I was like, honey, you gotta be trimming your toenails, And he's like, I know, mom. And he's a teenage boy. Like, so I go and get my husband because I'm like, honey, I need your help. But, when you ask for help, it can be almost like giving your power away if they have a different opinion. So that's exactly what happened. My husband's like, oh no, you don't. chop the toenail down because then that's going to put pressure on it. Da, 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 da. So he bandages it up, and I was like, shouldn't we like clean it first? And he's like, oh, no. And so he's putting all this, you know, stuff so it doesn't get infected, but it's dirty, right? And I'm like, I think, and so we end up in this power struggle about how to best take care of our son's toenail. And my son is like, Mom and Dad, can you just like try and get along? I'm like in pain here. And what had happened is it's Mother's Day, and I got triggered because I'm like, no, I know best. But he's the father, and he got triggered because he's like, no, I know best. We were like, and I'm a very aware person. So I was also kind of standing outside of my body, watching myself be playing out this trigger of, you know, feeling like what I'm doing is right and he's wrong. And he felt the same way. And so it's a perfect example of like, it's all well and good until life happens and you're in this kind of situation. And so actually, he ended up coming in and chatting with me and saying, we need to work together. He was actually pretty level headed about it. I was being like really childlike and like, okay, fine, you do it then, blah, 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 blah. But then I thought, no, I'm the mom here. I do know what I'm talking about. And it took me a minute to kind of navigate the trigger. And so I'm sharing this story because this was my process of acknowledging what the trigger was inside of me as I'm playing out, acting out in that moment. And my husband even, he says, why are you so upset? I said, I'm triggered right now. You should know triggers by now. Like a trigger's gone off. I'm just in it right now. So just give me a minute. And so what we did was we talked about it. We acknowledged it. I'm like, okay, I'm in a trigger. And he says, okay, we need to work together. And I said, yep, we do. And so can you please just listen to my perspective? So I listened to his, he listened to mine. And then we came to kind of like a meeting place. And he goes, oh, I can see what you're saying. And I said, yeah, and I can see what you're saying too. But please know, I'm not going to just grab the clippers and go, I'm going to be very, very careful and trim it very carefully because if I don't trim it very carefully, it can snag and then tear the whole thing off. And then he will be in he'll be in agony. It'll be a lot worse. And you can do that at night, the way you sleep, what teenagers sleep. I've slept with him. He's a starfish, starfishing through the universe all over the place. I'm like, Band-Aid comes off, gets pulled out. Ow. And he's like, yeah, I can see your perspective. And I was like, good, I can see yours too. And so why don't we work together on this? So we ended up getting my son in the bath, getting it clean. The nail was then soft, and then I could trim just like gently around. And then my son goes, Mom, you're right. That was the right thing to do. I'm sorry for not listening. I was just really afraid because I didn't want you to hurt it anymore. And I said, I know, honey, but I'm very careful. He goes, oh, I love you, Mom. And I said, I love you too, honey. I'm just trying to make sure if it's long, it might get snagged. And I've had that because I had it happen to me when I was a kid and it hurts so bad. But, I think, when you're in those, and I'll just speak for myself, when you're in those moments where, you get stressed, the adrenaline starts to go and you can feel it, like all the good philosophy under the sun is not going to work. But what you can do is like just say, what is going on here? Breathe. Yeah, breathe.
Take a deep breath, and half of it is recognizing that we have been triggered.
Yeah.
Then we can start going, oh, I'm triggered. Then you start peeling it back. Why? And you can start, looking at it from a different perspective like you did, right? Because it's a journey. It's a
Yeah.
process, and we're going to get triggered. Happens to all of us, right?
Yeah.
And
And, it was like acknowledging that we both were trying to do the best for our son, and that he had his perception and I had my perception. But the thing is, and I've been thinking about it today, the trigger was me giving my power away. And that's exactly what I did when I said, "Help, Gray, come and help. I don't know what to do." Well, I was like the damsel in distress of not knowing what to do. But actually, I did know exactly what to do. And then when I just firmly said, "Look, I'm his mom. I know what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to do. And this is why." And kind of like stepped into my power and just, I actually did take control because he was still like, I don't know. And I went, nope. And then I had faith and trust in myself and the conviction to move forward. And how many times, I mean, and it was Mother's Day, right? And how many times do we doubt ourselves, give our power away, and then just throw in the towel because we don't want to back our conviction? Sometimes it's the easier thing to do, but it has a consequence. And it was a big learning for me. So I kind of want to just add to it that our mess is our message and our triggers are our treasures. And when we can acknowledge, you know, where we're at, like you said, the awareness. And I think that is the awakening. I think the awakening is becoming more and more aware,
Mhm.
and I know for me, my spiritual awakening has been that I'm more aware of myself and others on every level, like not just the good stuff, but the bad, like terrible, like shadowy stuff that you don't want to see. And then it's like you awaken and you're like, oh boy, I got some stuff to clean up. I got to clean the house.
Fully accepting all aspects of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're quite right. Like, you can't change those things. You can't heal what you don't feel, and you can't change what you don't see.
Well, and the more you are aware of your triggers, the less you get triggered.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I have a friend, his name's Lion Goodman. I did my belief work with him, and he said that it used to take him years to come back from a trigger. And then with all the work he was doing, then it took months, and then it took days, and now it takes minutes.
Oh,
And I love that. It shows the progress of doing the work, right? If you go to the gym once or twice and expect to have a great body and lots of strength and health and wellness, but you've only gone like a few times here and there, it's not going to work. But with dedication, commitment, and follow through, you will in time achieve. And it's the same thing with the triggers and the treasures. And I've been doing this work for a long time now, and I am seeing the difference. But I just want to remind everyone out there, be patient with yourself, because you're repatterning probably a generational patterns. They take a while. Do you want to add to that, Malinda?
yeah, they definitely take a while.
Some of them.
And there's so many you don't even know, you might, that come out at different times. You're not even aware of them. And but it,
Yeah.
it is definitely a process. So, don't beat yourself up, be gentle with yourself and keep loving every aspect of you.
Yeah. And how do you love yourself when you get triggered? Like, what is your go-to tool to be able to do that?
Mm, that's a good question. I take a lot of deep breaths and really try to center myself with Mother Earth, the goddess, the God, the creator, Father Sky, bringing those energies in, centering into my heart, bringing my consciousness into my heart, and start expanding that love out. Um,
Mm.
and taking note of the trigger, um, and process why I was triggered, understand it, and know that, okay, I'm being triggered, and go through my process and know that next time that I won't get triggered.
Yeah, I
I
love
like
that.
healing those moments and being very present in healing that moment. Now it could come up again. um, but each time it gets easier and easier.
Mm.
You can say a little, I say a little mantra to myself, so you don't say.
I love that. A little
When someone
dialogue.
says something to you, oh, you don't say. And it causes you to pause and not take anything personal. That one
Mm.
was a hard one for me.
Not taking things personal. Yeah,
I'm
that's been a
so
big one for me
sensitive.
too.
Probably for a lot of us women too. Um, you know, being blamed for so many things and stuff. But a lot of us are very sensitive, especially for empaths and healers. And we feel everything. We take on everybody else's stuff, and the mothers in us, the grandmothers in us, and so it's hard to not take it personal. But once you get to that point, freedom. It's nice. Because then you really start loving every aspect of you and feeling worthy and having self-worth and really dropping that ego. It always wants, that little voice wants to come in and start, chattering your mind and, you know, telling you false things, false beliefs. You don't want to step into the old programs.
Oh,
So,
wow. I love that you just said that because that was the card we pulled in the Facebook group today was don't go backwards.
oh, here we go.
And and I was like, "Oh, did I pick this for the group or did I pick it for me?" Or both. I was like, "I get it." I'm like, I was totally going backwards last night. What do you mean? Don't you know that I'm a good mom? It's like taking it personal, thinking my husband is not thinking that I'm a good mom and that I know what I'm doing. And like, all that mommy wound stuff, of wanting to be trusted and respected and honored. And I just went into that little girl mode of taking things personal, and it was just
Asking for
hilarious.
help.
It was hilarious to witness myself. I was like, oh boy. What I do is I treat myself like my dog. Oh, it's okay, Gil. It's all right, Gil. You get a little triggered there, get a little fiery. It's okay. But it's not personal, it's not. It's like other people's reality, their story, their triggers, their perceptions, their beliefs.
I
And
just want to give you a hug.
thank you. Oh, I love you so much.
I love you
Mm.
too. It's always so much fun to sit and talk with you.
Yeah, really, really good. Did you have anything else to share about the awakening journey?
It's so different for each of us, but it is an amazing journey, and stay with it because your life becomes so full of magic.
So true. And I love that you talked about freedom because I think that's Yeah, I did. I said that in the Facebook group right before I
Oh,
came on here with
oh,
you. Yeah, about freedom. Yeah, I know. So I'm like, whoa, that's magical.
we're always aligned, you know.
I
It's
know. Have you
not
seen
even
the
knowing.
Malinda Starr? Have you seen the video that I do when I pass the torch to you and the lights on my plant are in a line going up? I'll have to send you the photo because I took a screenshot of it because it's so
Oh,
amazing.
I'm
Because you
always
remember,
scared to watch myself.
so anyways, on my plant, the plant behind me,
Uh-huh.
the lights are going up in a line going straight up, and that is exactly what I saw in the sky at 4 in the morning in my meditation. I saw stars go up into a line, and it went over and over like 4 or 5 times, and then it stopped, and then it just disappeared, and I was like, whoa, what was that? Was not anything I've ever seen before, not a falling star or anything. It was just like a perfect line of lights, stars going, and then it just went away. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. Well, the light on the plant was doing the same thing during the passing the torch uh, YouTube
Aw.
video that we did together. And I was like, wow, talk about the stars being aligned. So
Absolutely.
So we are aligned. That was a definite, like, okay, everything is happening exactly as it's meant to. And talking about freedom that is how I feel when I'm able to stop caring about what everyone else thinks of me. And that has been true freedom in my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit. It gets a little bit difficult on Mother's Day because I'm like, oh, but at the same time, it's like taking those boundaries and honoring ourselves and not allowing other people to abuse us emotionally, physically, spiritually. It is true freedom to really, truly love yourself at that
Mhm.
kind of level, like the plant, going back to the plant and the kindness being around it and just going, okay, I'm 50, almost 50 years old. I just want to be happy and have happy people around me. And not to say that sometimes there's, stuff that happens, but there's limits and boundaries that we put around that. And yeah, and so I was talking about that earlier. So the freedom to connect that to the triggers. I love that. And so so is it your feeling and your idea? I did a whole paper on trauma and triggers at university and did so much research about it. And it's a topic I'm fascinated with. Is it your feeling and your experience, because you're older than me, um, that the more work you do, then you don't get triggered by the same things that you were triggered by before?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so hopeful. Thank
Mm.
you. I needed to hear that because there are some counselors, that have PhDs and all the rest of it that say once you have trauma, it's just something you have to live with. Once you have these triggers, just something you have to live with, and that there's not that much you can do about it. And I don't want to subscribe to that.
That could very well be an old programming, right? Keeping you stuck, keeping you small, not fully stepping into the fullness of who you are, into your
Mm-hmm.
power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? It's like those old programs, they want to hang on, and it's up to us to go, nah, not subscribing.
Not doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Not going backwards.
Not going backwards. We're being fully in the present.
Mm, presence. That's where the gifts are, in the present moment.
Flowing in life with our heart.
Mm. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your wisdom.
Thank you.
Oh, love you so much. Just keep everyone out there, just keep coming back to your heart. You know, I was so proud of my husband and I because we ended up like having a laugh and like hugging it out and like I really was like, honey, I know you're just doing the best thing for our son. And he goes, and I know you're doing the best thing. And then my son was like, oh, mom, I understand now what you were trying to say. So it was actually good because he started to learn about different perceptions and having the mom and dad enter into a power struggle and then resolve it. And that teaches resilience because the kids are going to have to deal with that in life with other people. Conflict resolution, right? Learning how to navigate when two people have opposing thoughts and how to go forward with that. So there's no mistakes on everything that happens. It's all a learning curve, even when technology doesn't work. You know what I'm going to be doing next. Contacting Zoom, contacting Facebook, and seeing what is going on. Oh, so much love to you, Malinda Starr.
So much love to you and to everyone out there.
Yes, so much love to everyone that's listening.
Blessings, blessings.
Blessings.